Welcome back, race fans, to the Marble Circuits 2022. I'm Jeremiah, and I'm here to welcome you to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Big Dog sits on the pole position after winning the qualifying a few days ago. Being champion of last race, he is trying to make it as easy as possible to take another win. At the back of the starting gate, you have an interesting group of marbles, Black Pirates, getting last place in both of the qualifyings of this season. He's definitely having a hard time with this new qualifying format. And then you have Pink Pearl, last season's overall champion, in 11th place. She's having a hard time with these qualifyings as well. And then you have Sparky, race 1 champion. He was put into the elimination zone by Mamonas in the last lap of Q1, which is definitely a hard hit for him, with Mamonas getting eliminated in Q2, not making it any farther than 9th. Arrow Frog and Gold Piston sit right next to each other on the starting grid. Rumor has it that they're actually becoming friends after the accident in last race. The Bahrain Grand Prix is a unique track with a very steep booster and a lot of U-turns in succession, with not much time to gain speed as we saw in the qualifying, but there are a lot of places that can be used as an overtaking point. As we look at the top-down view, you can really see what type of environment that these marbles have to be going through in this race. Nerves are building, especially for Big Dogs, who sits on pole position. He is under a lot of pressure to perform well in this race to keep the overall lead. But Night Rivers is sitting in 4th. He is in 2nd in the overall standings. He wants to come and take the lead from Big Dogs. Here are the full results of the qualifying from a couple days ago. Big Dogs on pole position, followed by Fast Coup Pins, Sea Turtles, Night Rivers, and Arrow Frog, who will finish off your top 5. Just to let everyone know, race 3 of the Marble Circuits will not be coming out next weekend. It will be coming out the weekend after that. And now, for race 2 of the Marble Circuits 2022. The lights are on. And away we go. Fast Coup Pins takes lead right at the beginning of the race, but Big Dogs takes it back, and they go through the drag reduction zone, losing a lot of speed. And now Peppers is in first place, being followed by Night Rivers and Mamonas as we go through these turns for the first time. Big Pearl is trailing behind in 12th place, with Loose Wheel in 11th. Big Dogs has fallen down to 7th, with Fast Coup Pins in 8th place. The drag reduction zone spelling disaster for these two marbles. Peppers is extending his lead, being followed by Mamonas and Night Rivers, who is trying to catch up at this point. A lot of contact right before the booster, and Night Rivers comes out on top with Mamonas in 2nd. Sea Turtles is in 3rd place, and Peppers has fallen down to 4th, with Night Rivers now trying to extend his lead. Mamonas still in 2nd place, trying to catch up to Night Rivers, but is having a hard time doing it as Night Rivers is extending himself from the rest of the field. Sea Turtles has taken 2nd place, but Mamonas takes it right back, and he takes 1st place from Night Rivers, and Sea Turtles takes 1st place right before the booster. Night Rivers has fallen down to 4th, with Arrow Frog now in 3rd place. Sea Turtles extending himself from Mamonas here. Mamonas is the 2nd place champion right now, not getting in 1st place for very long. And Night Rivers has now taken 2nd place, drafting Sea Turtles, but Sea Turtles is able to get ahead. Mamonas taking 2nd place briefly from Night Rivers, but enters the drag reduction zone, allowing Night Rivers to take the 2nd spot. Arrow Frog is pressuring Mamonas for 3rd place at this point, being followed by, who would have guessed, Gold Piston. They are really becoming buds in this race. Mamonas trying to catch up to Sea Turtle at this point, but Sea Turtles is able to pass and take 1st place from Night Rivers, and take the fast side of the drag reduction zone, with the other 3 marbles taking the other side, allowing him to get a big lead. Night Rivers is now in 2nd place, being followed by Arrow Frog. Mamonas is now in 4th place, trying to catch up to Arrow Frog at this point. Sea Turtles trying to stay ahead of Night Rivers as we go into the 6th lap. Night Rivers trying to catch up, and he goes through the drag reduction zone, but is able to keep momentum. A good move by Night Rivers. Sea Turtles has a good lead right now, and Gold Piston is now in 3rd place, being followed by Arrow Frog, with the Mamonas now in 5th place. Big Dogs and Fast Coup Pins are in the last 2 spots. What happened to these two marbles in this race? They were the top 2 pole sitters of the starting of the race. Something is definitely wrong with their strategy in this race. Night Rivers has taken back pole position from Sea Turtles. These two marbles are definitely fighting for the pole position in this race, being followed by Arrow Frog and Gold Piston. They're all in single file around these turns. Night Rivers sees these 3 marbles behind him, does not like what he is seeing. Arrow Frog trying to take second place from Sea Turtle and is able to do it. Sea Turtles and Gold Piston take the drag reduction zone. Now Arrow Frog is in second, trying to catch up to Night Rivers, as he is right now. Momonas is now taken back 3rd place, and Arrow Frog takes 1st place from Night Rivers. As they go through these U-turns, Night Rivers has lost a lot of momentum. Black Pirates is now in 3rd place, starting in the back of the field in 12th place. He is definitely a comeback king. He did this last race, but if you remember, he got up to the top of the field in the middle of the race and then fell back down and finished in 11th. We'll have to keep an eye on him in this race to see if he's able to stay up in the top of the pack or if he's going to fall back down like he did last race. Peppers is now back up in 5th place with Gold Piston in 6th. Arrow Frog extending his lead from Night Rivers. They both take the right side of the drag reduction zone. Momonas taking 3rd place from Black Pirates, but Black Pirates is able to take it back. Arrow Frog a good 3 seconds ahead of Black Pirates, with Night Rivers close behind. Black Pirates needs to try to close this gap if he wants to get any higher up in the standings, but you have to watch out for Night Rivers and Arrow Frog, 2 fierce competitors. As Night Rivers takes 1st place from Arrow Frog there, they both take the drag reduction zone, making them lose a lot of momentum. Black Pirates has an opportunity to catch back up, but where is he? He is back in 6th place. He's falling down the order just like last race. What is happening to Black Pirates in this race? Gold Piston is now in 3rd place, trying to catch up to Arrow Frog, who is having a hard time just trying to keep up with Night Rivers at this point, and going through the drag reduction zone is not going to help him that much. Night Rivers now has a huge lead, with Momonas now taking 3rd place from Gold Piston, trying to catch up to Arrow Frog. Black Pirates is now in 7th. Big Dogs and Fast Two Pins are still at the bottom of the standings. This is a terrible race for them. Big Dog's most likely going to lose his lead in the overall standings if he does not make it up by the end of this race. Night Rivers still in the lead, being followed by Arrow Frog and Momonas. Gold Piston trying to pass Momonas for 3rd, but Gold Piston is able to hold him off at this point. With Loose Wheel now in 5th place, haven't seen him much in this season so far. Good for him being in the top 5. Can he climb higher in this race? Gold Piston does not want that to happen. He's defending himself from Loose Wheel at this point. Night Rivers still in the lead, being followed by Arrow Frog still. And Loose Wheel takes 4th place from Gold Piston. He is climbing up the ranks. Hopefully he'll be able to do better in this season. Maybe he just had a rough start last race. Trying to catch up to Momonas now, but it's going to be hard to do it as these top 4 marbles are very spaced out at this point. Each of these marbles are over a second apart from each other in this top 4. Who will be the first to make a crucial mistake and break this balance? And a hit to Loose Wheel from Pink Pearl through the booster. An aggressive move by Pink Pearl, actually giving Loose Wheel some momentum. Maybe he'll be able to use this momentum to catch up to Momonas and take 3rd place. He is slowly catching up to Momonas at this point. Momonas takes the drag reduction zone, but it looks like Loose Wheel does as well. Arrow Frog is now catching up to Night Rivers. They are neck and neck. Night Rivers does not like this, and now has gained some more space. Loose Wheel has caught up to Momonas. Now he's trying to pressure for 3rd place, with Momonas just trying to keep his ground at this point. Night Rivers doing a fantastic job in this race, holding lead by far for a very long time. Arrow Frog now pressuring him, and he takes 1st place from Night Rivers, just as I was saying how good Night Rivers was doing. Night Rivers is furious right now, trying to take back the lead from Arrow Frog. Arrow Frog having a great time, but he can't have too much fun, or else he might make a mistake. He has to fend off Night Rivers, who is furious and just wants to get back in the lead. They both take the drag reduction zone, and a bump by Night Rivers, actually using it to his advantage. Night Rivers is now back in 1st place. We have 2 laps to go. We are in lap 18. Momonas and Loose Wheel still fighting for 3rd place. Loose Wheel a great deal behind Momonas at this point though. Night Rivers and Arrow Frog very far ahead of Momonas. As we start the final lap, Arrow Frog takes the lead in the final lap from Night Rivers. Where is Night Rivers? He is falling down to 2nd. Arrow Frog using a surprise tactic. Can he keep the lead for the remainder of the race? This would be a steal of a race if he can. Night Rivers just trying to do all he can to get back in the lead, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. And Arrow Frog will be your champion of the Bahrain Grand Prix. With Night Rivers coming in at 2nd and a surprise Pink Pearl in 3rd place. dethroning Mamonas and Loose Wheel. An amazing race today with a steal of a win from Aerofrog. Big Dog's ending up in 7th, starting in pole position. Not a very good race for him, but better than Fast Cupins ending up in 12th, starting in 2nd place. A better race for Pink Pearl ending up in 3rd place. Maybe she's finally got her bearings.
Wow, you made a sensational race with beautiful overtaking. Congratulations on your first victory at the Marble Circuits 2022.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm very happy now. I didn't expect to have such a special weekend. Thank you to the whole team.
Aerofrog sounding very excited after such a steal of a win. We'll definitely have to take a look at that in these replays. Big Dog's having a terrible race, as well as Fast Cupins, both ending up in the bottom of the standings, with Fast Cupins ending up in last, starting in 2nd place. What happened in this race? He did try to overtake for the lead right at the beginning of the race, possibly messing up his overall strategy. Both of the top 2 marbles ended up going to the drag reduction zone, putting them in the back of the pack, possibly causing them the overall win of this race. Just goes to show you how important the start of the race is. You have to make sure not to be too aggressive, or else you might make a mistake letting other marbles pass you right at the beginning of the race, forcing you to deal with major consequences. Night Rivers doing a fantastic job today, being in the lead unchallenged for most of the race, right up until the last lap. You have to remember that you have to stay focused all the way into the last lap, even if it looks like there's no possible way that you could lose this race. Because if you lose your focus, all is lost, and you will probably lose the race, in this case, to Aerofrog, who did not lose his focus and was able to take advantage of the mistake that Night Rivers made and steal the win. Mamonas also having a good race today, staying in the top 3 for most of the race, but was eventually dethroned by Pink Pearl, who took 3rd place in the last lap. This is another show of loss of focus for some of these marbles, who were alone so long in the race that they kind of forgot that they were racing. The peace and quiet of dominating the race up in the front can be distracting, and you have to keep your edge, or else you won't be able to stay in the lead for very long, as we saw for Night Rivers and Mamonas. Night Rivers did end up getting the fastest lap in this race on the 2nd lap of the race, and from that point on, he was for the most part in the lead. Here is the point where Aerofrog takes the lead in the last lap. It looks like Night Rivers went up on the chicane, making his turn radius longer, which ultimately allowed Aerofrog to take the lead. It's wins like these that keep these marbles going. Definitely an amazing race here at BAHRAIN. Here are the full race results, with Aerofrog in 1st place, Night Rivers in 2nd, Pink Pearl is in 3rd place. Pink Pearl had the highest number of gained spots compared to her starting position, Fast Cupins having the highest number of lost spots, having 10 lost spots, starting in 2nd, finishing in last. And here are the full standings, Aerofrog in 1st place, being followed by Night Rivers and Big Dogs. Big Dogs being dethroned, having 30 points, with the top 2 marbles being tied for 1st with 37. Ties are broken by the number of victories the marbles have. In this case, will be Aerofrog. Congratulations to Aerofrog for getting 1st place, Night Rivers in 2nd, and Pink Pearl in 3rd place. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for Race 3 of the Marble Circus 2021 at the Shanghai Grand Prix. I'm Jeremiah, signing off. Until next time, this has been Fubeca's Marble Runs. Good day, everyone.